Attraction, it can feel like a total mystery, right? Is this actually something? Or are you just seeing what you want to see? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and decipher the subtle psychological signals of attraction, breaking it all down into 7 key indicators. I mean, this is the classic question, isn't it? You're having a great conversation, the vibe feels totally right, but then that little voice in your head starts up, wondering, are you reading this correctly? I think we've all been there. And here's why it's so tricky. The most genuine signs of attraction, they're usually not these big, flashy, obvious moves. Nope, they're quiet. They're subconscious. They're rooted in psychology. And our whole goal today is to make sure you don't miss them anymore. Okay, before we dive into the list, let's get one thing straight. This is probably the most important rule of the game. We are not looking for one single, isolated incident. What we're looking for is a pattern. Consistency is everything. So when you start seeing a few of these signs pop up again and again, yeah, that's when you should really start paying attention. So let's kick things off with the stuff that happens almost on autopilot. The signals the body sends out before the brain even gets a chance to second guess them. This is the body's secret language. First up, and this is one of the most powerful, most honest signals out there, simply because it is so hard to fake. It's all in the eyes. Look, we all make eye contact, that's normal. But what really matters here is the duration. If you catch her holding your gaze for just a beat or two longer than you'd expect, or maybe she looks away for a second, and then her eyes snap right back to yours, that is not an accident. Psychologically, what's happening is you're building this little invisible bridge of emotional connection, and that can seriously crank up the feelings of attraction. Okay, sign number 2. Now this one's a little counterintuitive, so stick with me. It often gets completely misinterpreted. We're talking about nervous energy. Now, you might see these things and think, ooh, she's uncomfortable. But it can actually mean the exact opposite. See, when we're attracted to someone, our body gets this little jolt of adrenaline. That's what causes the fidgeting, the laughing a little too easily, the touching your hair. It's a pure physical reaction to feeling heightened emotions around you. Let's move on to our third subconscious sign. This one is super sneaky. It's something you might not even pick up on, unless you're really looking for it. It's called mirroring. Mirroring is exactly what it sounds like. It's when someone subconsciously copies your body language. And this chart shows it perfectly. You lean in, she leans in. You talk a little softer, and her voice drops to match yours. It's a huge sign of rapport. It's basically her brain saying, hey, I'm on the same wavelength as this person. I feel connected. All right, let's shift gears. We've talked about the subconscious stuff. Now we're moving into the more conscious, more deliberate actions. These are the signs that show someone is intentionally trying to build a bridge to you. So, sign number 4 is all about how someone uses the physical space around you. It's this subtle but very intentional act of getting closer. Just think about it for a second. When you're in a group, does she somehow always end up sitting or standing near you? Does she find little reasons to be in the same part of the room? It's simple, really. People naturally gravitate towards what and who they want. If she's consistently closing that physical gap, she's intentionally putting herself in your orbit. She's creating opportunities. Next up, we have a sign that shows clear, undeniable effort. You really can't mistake this for just being friendly. It's all about who initiates the conversation. I mean, this one's pretty straightforward, right? Attraction sparks curiosity. If someone is into you, they're going to want to know more about you. So if she's the one shooting you that first text, asking you random questions that go beyond just how was your day, or if you notice she's really working to keep the chat from dying out, that's her actively investing her time and energy into you. Okay, sign number 6. This might just be one of the most significant indicators on the entire list: casual physical touch. We all have this invisible bubble around us, right? Our personal space. And we're pretty careful about who we let into it. So when someone breaks this touch barrier with these little, light, unnecessary touches, it is a huge signal. It shows a level of comfort and a desire for connection that goes way beyond just being pals. And here are some of the classics. That light tap on your arm when she's laughing at your joke, a playful little nudge, or finding a tiny excuse like, oh, you've got an eyelash, or fixing your collar. These things might seem small, but they are very deliberate ways of testing the waters and building a physical connection. And that brings us to our final and definitely most direct indicator. This is the point where things stop being subtle and move into straight-up verbal fact-finding.
So if someone is really interested and they're ready to move past the subtle hints, what do? Well, the seventh and most obvious sign is when they just ask about your relationship status.
Trust me, these questions are almost never just random idle curiosity. They are strategic moves. When she asks if you're seeing anyone, she is directly checking if you're available. And when she asks about your type, she's trying to figure out if she fits the bill. It's her low-risk way of gathering some very important intel.
So we've gone through 7 pretty powerful signs, from subconscious body language all the way to direct questions. But what's the real big picture takeaway here? What do you actually do with all this information? Look, at the end of the day, this isn't about memorizing a checklist so you can become some kind of mind reader. It's about developing your social awareness. All 7 signs we've covered, they really just point to 2 things: energy and effort. Is she giving you positive energy? Is she putting in consistent effort? Seeing that pattern should give you the confidence to move forward, respectfully. And that is so much more effective than just playing guessing games. And here's the final thought I really want to leave you with. Knowing these signs is a great tool to have, for sure, but the real goal isn't just to become a better detective of how other people feel. It's to focus on yourself, on your own confidence, your own passions, on being a good person. Because when you become someone who is genuinely engaging and respectful, you'll find that the signs of attraction aren't things you have to search for anymore. They just become a lot easier to see.